All right. I believe we're live. So, hello, everybody. Hello, Facebook world. And if you're
Hi.
watching later, hello. Hello, people watching later and the replay. So, tonight we're going to be speaking with Stephanie from Holiday Joy Buy and talk about luxury Christmas experiences. Um, the question comes to mind like, have you ever walked into a luxury resort like during Christmas time and wonder, like, how did this get here? Who does this? The giant trees, the lighting, like that magical atmosphere. Those experiences are really carefully designed environments. It's not just somebody just throwing up some lights and some trees. Like we're going to talk about that. What does it really take to do these large scale Christmas designs? And we're going to pull back that curtain on how these environments are created because it's not just about just putting up lights. If you don't know me, I'm Stacey Jordan, founder of Red Sleigh Workshop. Welcome to Slay the Season Live. We're here to explore ideas, strategies, and people that are shaping the future of the Christmas industry. So I've been working with installers, designers, industry professionals, helping them expand into larger commercial and destination holiday projects. So with my over 2 decades of experience in commercial Christmas, it excites me so much to help um, build this industry, to watch it evolve, to go from simple lighting installs to giant immersive holiday environments, to bring tourism and guest experiences and everything, and to bring that seasonal magic. So that's what I'm here to do. And I'm also joined by Patrick Russell, our executive vice president, who's over here, and of Red Slate Workshop. And he brings decades of business experience, operational expertise, helping lighting and decor companies scale their operations and build their systems needed so they can grow into larger opportunities. And Patrick, you want to introduce yourself real quick? Then I can introduce Stephanie.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm Patrick Russell, the executive vice president and co-founder of Red Sleigh Workshop. It's true, I do all those things that Stacy said, but I also, what she left out there is my incredible sense of humor that I bring to the job site, um, which,
It is quite hysterical. I do have to say I love it.
so yeah, I mean, it's been a journey with Red Sleigh Workshop. It's been a lot of fun.
Wait, real
Um,
quick. Is it hysterical or hysteria?
Both.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it starts out as hysteria and then it just gets hysterical. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we got to work with Stephanie this last season, and it was an amazing experience. We had, lots of fun. We had some craziness go on, and we got it figured out. And so I'm happy to have her on today.
Mhm.
Right. Because one thing we believe strongly at Red Say Workshop is that the industry grows best when professionals, we share ideas, we collaborate, we keep pushing this industry forward, right? There's so much creativity happening across the industry right now. It's really exciting this year. I've seen so many amazing things coming around and coming up that are new. And our goal at Red Slay Workshop and at Slay the Season Live, is to highlight the people that are helping elevate this Christmas experience to a different new level. And Stephanie is definitely one of those people. We're joined with Stephanie, one of the greatest luxury hospitality and holiday design women, queens of Christmas that I know. And she is the founder, the trash taker outer, the
I'm an
the social
all-rounder.
media mogul of Holiday Joy Buy, and she specializes in designing Christmas environments for luxury resorts, destination projects, cities, creating seasonal experiences and that guests come travel to see. She's also presenting at the TransWorld Christmas Show with me on March 26th, I think, yeah, at
Yeah.
10:15 a.m. And the topic is going to be luxury Christmas experiences, designing for resorts and destinations. So, Stephanie, welcome to Slay the Season Live. So glad that you're here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Stephanie, and I quit my job a couple years ago to open a Christmas store and to do large scale commercial Christmas installation. So I bring a very different perspective to the Christmas industry. So exactly what Stacey says, where I really come in with the intention of elevating it and creating something really beautiful and really fun and sometimes over the top. And I also come from a background of hospitality. A little bit of a history about me is I grew up living in hotels around the world. So I really know the underside of a hotel. My father's been in hospitality my entire life, And so that's where a lot of my experience comes in. And I do come from a Christmas family. So my mom is really the person who taught me how to do everything that I do and really kind of helped me hone my creativity. So bringing all of that to the table along with my 15 plus years of e-commerce merchandising has really kind of helped me hone my craft and my skills in building a business that feels a little different than what exists currently.
Right. So, Stephanie, we're having a little hard time with your microphone. Are you hearing that too, Patrick? Or is it just me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
So,
try. It might be my AirPods. Can you hear
yeah, keep
Go ahead.
talking.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
Yeah,
now? Can you hear
it's
me?
that's better. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's much better. Okay,
How
we
is
have some
this?
we're on Zoom here live and on Facebook Live. So people are entering the waiting room. We're gonna let them in here. So we don't know who these people are. They're just gonna come in and hang out with us because I leave this an open door for people to come join us. So if you're here joining us, welcome. If you want to talk, feel free to unmute yourself and interrupt us at any time. We're happy to answer questions. So Stephanie, because your mic was a little messed up, I heard you say that your family's been in the hospitality industry your whole life. You lived in hotels around the world. What kinds of locations are you talking about? Where are we
Oh,
thinking here?
I've lived everywhere from Bali, Jakarta, Manila, Singapore, moved back to Bali again, and then we lived in Dubai. So, but Dubai before it was Dubai. So, when there was one street there. And so we really saw it evolve from a luxury hospitality perspective to what it was today. And with that, Christmas there. And so my family kind of had a part in that, and that was really exciting for us.
That's great. And so, with that insight that you have on it, it's, the luxury Christmas, um, it's not just about the decor, it's about the elevating of the decor. It's about
So
bringing in
essentially,
new ideas.
So what we do is very different than what currently exists. What currently exists is people go in and they put up a tree. What we do is we come in and we create an experience. So we work with our clients to create something highly customized. We essentially go to them and say, what do you want it to feel like? And then we work to create a feeling within the property. And we kind of take into perspective the demographics, the psychographics, and everything of their consumer base because every property is different. So one hotel might be a family-friendly resort, and then what you deliver for that is very different than a resort that is more skewed towards couples and adults. And so we create an experience that kind of takes them on a through line through the property, not just a tree. And everything is very bespoke, everything is super customized. We create things for each individual property. We'll custom dye things, we'll custom design things. Like I have a couple bids out right now that Stacy has seen that are like where everything is custom for
Amazing, by the way, amazing.
words crossed, hoping that those come to fruition because like we have a lot of ideas that some people don't see. But everything is customized and you won't find it somewhere else.
Right. So that's so true. And I've seen that there in the US market, it's people think putting up a tree is a whole design program. And that's not true. There may be trees involved or a big tree, but it's not the main thing. So I love what you said about that. So I'm going to circle back a little bit again. You talked about having an e-commerce background and a marketing background. Tell me about give me the story of how your company Joy Buy, how that started. Like, how did that begin?
So I essentially was it began in theory quite some time ago, but I was dabbling with the concept of like I wasn't happy doing what I was currently doing. I essentially asked myself one question. Where do I want to be in 10 years? And do I want to be my boss? And the answer to that was no, because I saw the life that she had, and that wasn't necessarily the life that I had wanted to live. I'd been a merchant for 15 years. I was a very good merchant, a lot of e-commerce startups, and I like merchandising, but I wanted to get out of being in apparel merchandising. So I was on my way to give birth to my first child, and I got let go in a voicemail on my way to give birth to my first child. And then I essentially was like in an experience that was, unfounded and very different and weird for me as someone who has worked 15 years straight, worked weekends. And I asked myself, like, what do you want to do? And I thought back to the last time that I was essentially very happy. And that was when I was working with my mom. I was assisting her on projects. I would always go and join her over Thanksgiving to put up installations at high-end five-star properties. And it felt like I was like coming full circle. And all of my experience being a merchant, doing e-commerce, and working with my family has kind of led to this moment. So I said, essentially, I'm going to start a Christmas company. And my mom had been doing this in the US under the name Joy by Rima. And so we're essentially where I work with my mom to do this. Yeah.
The family business.
The family.
Those are always amazing partnerships, I've heard.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
feel really honest.
smooth.
It's like I feel really blessed because I got to meet Stacy through that. I've been able to grow really creatively, and it's allowed me to. What I learned from my startup background is that you can push the envelope in a space that is consistent. So for me, what I've been seeing in the Christmas space is that everything is very similar. Everyone's doing a very similar aesthetic. And so I'm trying to bring in a different perspective. And that resonates with some people, and it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so looking forward to seeing what comes out this year. I know that you're working on a
Fingers
lot of bids. I'm working on a lot of things. We're working together. We're going to get some things out there in the industry. We can't talk about it right now, but it's happening and it's happening out there. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. So let's talk a little bit about um, like when resorts decide to create this experience, right? When they ask you to come in and create an experience for Christmas, right? We're going to talk Christmas because I know you do other events too, or other holidays. I saw some Easter amazing things going on. I was like super excited with your TikTok recently. Oh, if you're watching on Facebook, go to her TikTok. It's Joy Buy, right? That's what it is called.
Yeah, it's Holiday Joy Buy.
Holiday Joy Buy.
Right now
Mhm.
I'm going to be launching other product categories in 2027. So right now I'm testing different products, seeing what can be done, can't be done, what I like, what I don't like, because I also don't want to create a brand that exists currently. So I'm trying to create something that feels different. So I'm trying to just see everything that's out there.
Right. So if you're watching, like I said, on Facebook, go to TikTok, Holiday Joy Buy, and you'll see some of her other elements that she's putting up for this time of year, springtime. So it's something different. And follow, share with your friends, all of your designer friends, have them all follow her as well. So going back, when a resort asks you to come in and create a Christmas experience, where does that design process actually begin at? What does that look like at the beginning for you?
So I essentially do a walkthrough with them and I ask them several questions. One of the questions I ask is, what do you not like about what you've had in the past? Because you can learn a lot about someone from what they say about the work that they've had previously or what's existed before. And then I say, what inspires you? And then I ask them about their brand. So I ask them core questions about their brand so that I can, and I've already done my own research about the brand. I have my own perspective of the brand, but hearing it from the hotel or the property is something entirely different because you want to create their vision. It's not your interpretation of what the property is, it's their vision and executing against that. So then I take all of these notes back after the walkthrough, all of the measurements, everything from there. And then I create like a mood or inspiration or a concept board for them. And I get some feedback. I generally like to create I'll create two concept boards that feel a little different. One's usually a more avant-garde, and one is literally a little bit more safe to give them that optionality. And then from there, we'll go in and we will do renderings. And we essentially take every concept that we develop and we render it into their space, which is not necessarily common. For certain projects, a lot of times people will just say, okay, you're going to get decor package number one and it's going to be gold. So we
Right.
essentially, and the reason I do that is because I know can be very visual, and I know it can help them see the difference between what we're going to produce and walk them through the experience, which is what they're buying into.
Right. So through your design boards, you start to tell that story of what you're showing them. And like you said, one is safe and one is avant-garde. So for me, that I like to do that too. I like to give a couple of options. I always say it's like one that what they asked for is like the safe one, what really I want to sell them, and then the wild card one, right? So like
Yeah.
there's those are a couple ones that I throw out there because sometimes the wild card is what they go for, and it could be just the really off thing, or they combine all of those into like one final design. But for me, I like to give that multiple options so they can see and have, because a lot of times these aren't the creative people at all. They have a vision, but their vision is, oh, I saw something down the street, or I saw this.
So a
Everyone
lot.
loves Disneyland. I want it to look like Disneyland. Well, what does that mean? Which part of Disney? Which area? There's so
Yeah.
many.
So a lot of times what you get information wise is like I a lot of people one will show you pictures or they'll show you things that they're like, this is something that I've liked in the past,
Hmm.
or they'll mention something and then you have to like figure out and deep dive into what that was. And so for me, having visuals is very important in walking the customer through the journey. So you're essentially taking them on the journey that their customers are going to go through. So you're going to want to take them through the whole experience. Um, and renderings can really help with that. And I always like to have an option that's a little bit more avant-garde because some people do like to play it safe, and Christmas is always it's always red and gold, and people want that. But there are other properties that do want something a little different, and this is their opportunity to shine.
Right. Right. So what would you say is like one thing that's different that people are asking for, or this year compared to the last couple of years? Is there anything that's stands out for you and you're designing?
I think for me, people are looking for things that are more individualized. I think what I find is people want it to feel like they're that themselves. Whereas I feel like in the past, people are just like looking at Christmas as like a nut checking the box. And I think people now are looking for something that feels more personalized to their property or to what they're working on.
Right. Everyone wants to have it specialized for them. They don't
Yeah,
want to have the same thing that the person down the street has.
exactly. And what I've noticed is like people are starting to ask for that or starting to search for that. Whereas before, I think people were more okay with like it just being another check the box moment.
Right. Like they'll look through a catalog and say, "Oh, I want these
Yeah,
themes,"
and I
or
think
click
really,
online. Yeah.
I think what's happening is that we're in a digital age. So essentially, like everything that you're creating for these people or everything you're creating for a property, like you also have to look at it through the lens of like, how is this going to photograph? How is this going to translate through an iPhone? How is this going to translate for like a storytelling moment for their community? And so that's why people want something that's more customized to them because they want it to become a reason people come and they'll see it the year prior and be like, oh, this is something I have to go see.
Right. It becomes that photo moment that becomes
Yeah.
their signature thing for their area, whatever you're
Yeah.
doing. So the when it comes to like the clients, do they care more? What do they care about most, I would say, when you're planning their holiday program? Like what would you say like the main pain point that you're solving for them is in this
Depends on the
process?
client.
Yeah. Well, say a resort. Let's just talk resorts, like
Yeah.
hotels. Yeah.
I would
Hospitality.
think that people are looking for an individualized experience that feels
Mhm.
elevated and they want it to be organized and streamlined. And I think a lot of people have struggled with people they've worked with in the past, et cetera, like that, where it lacks that organizational component. So some things you can do like prior, which like Stacey, you know about this like all day and all night, sending schedules, making sure that they're on board with the schedule, always selling follow-up communication. Because essentially, like this is like an A door client. This is your best client. And so you have to make sure that the communication you're delivering follows that.
Right. And the I know for me, speaking along those lines, there's a I heard last year a few clients had talked about their previous, installation teams, their previous people they worked with that weren't in the Christmas space. Right? They're not really Christmas installers. They do other things and they're not trained for the Christmas space. So when the difference between having a team and a designer who designs for luxury Christmas compared to somebody who's just either like a um, an electrician, or they're the local florist or something. Nothing against them, 100%. They can go and do that work too, but that's where I think that it really, that intersection of like, this is designed versus just you're selling a product, right?
Yeah, I think you can like again, there's like large scale props, all of that exists in the marketplace. Like you people can sell that to an account, but to really
Mm-hmm.
create a brand story is it's a different kind of set of skills that you're flexing or a different muscle that you're
Right.
flexing. And I think that they can be taught. I think essentially if you are looking to get into this space, there's certain criteria that can be taught. There's certain things that you can do that can put you on a level playing field in this kind of avenue where you want to bid these projects. And some of those things are like working on your pitch, working on your creativity, like working on kind of what you're delivering. What does your deck look like that's going out to your clients? What does your follow through look like? What does your follow up look like post season? Like all of those things matter. And all of that communication matters.
Right. Definitely. Um, So I'm going to segue real quick into talking about like trends in the Christmas experiences. And I've like, have you had any people asking you for anything different, like such as like putting events on that have to do with like immersive experiences, or like, for the photo ops, but also like they want something interactive? Like, what is that?
Yeah,
How's
so
that been for you?
I think people do want interactive, but I really think it depends on the property. So like it really depends on the property that you're going into. What's really amazing about Christmas, there's all these very cool technologies that are out there now. So if you want to create an immersive interactive experience, there's certain things you can do. There's RGB, there's like screens that you can show shows on walls. There's really, the world is really your oyster of the things that you can do, and you can turn everything into a Disneyland today. It's pretty
Right.
amazing.
Right.
What really comes down to is budget, because a lot of those things can get very pricey. So having an open and honest conversation with your client up front about what those immersive experiences can cost, I think is key.
Right. And I mean, I'm thinking a lot of our audience right now are Christmas light installers that are, maybe they're not like large operators in the system in the commercial Christmas space. A lot of the people watching are probably residential installers that are not really quite trained to be commercial operators. And there's a couple people on here that probably are doing big commercial outdoor projects too, and indoor. If they, a lot of them, what I've seen is they're really um, apprehensive when it comes to going inside the property. Right on the outside, they'll put up the wall of lights. They'll put up the exterior pole decorations. They'll put the garlands on the porte cochere. They'll do all these things that and they'll put wreaths on the building. But when it comes to going inside, they just say, "Oh, we don't handle that, and we don't really want to do that." So if somebody say does a huge has a huge project around the country somewhere, say somewhere in California, and there's a place that wants to put up a big interior program, would any of these installers that do the outside decoration be able to work with someone like you? Would that be something that they could do?
We've actually done that. We actually did a project in California this year where we essentially do the design. We do everything. So what you get is a fully baked design that you can install for your client. And we give you the renderings, we give you it's called a buy guide, where you essentially get a buy guide of how to decorate the tree, what that should look like. And then everything gets shipped to you and you bring it to the property and then you can install it. If you need incremental help with indoor installation, Stacy can help like help depending
Thank
on
you.
the space that you are in. But we actually did a project like that this year. And it's not like we pass it off to you and then we let you go. I actually still text with the installer and he's like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do more projects like this. And I was like, great, I will send you more stock.
Right.
I
Yeah.
have
And
a
so,
question.
um, yes.
So I've learned a lot about interior Christmas this last year. And what is the correct ornament placement on a tree? So I didn't know that was a thing.
It
I
is a
think
big thing.
I mean I didn't know there's like diamond pattern stuff like that. And I think I'm like most at least 75% of the installers out there. So, when I see garland or wreaths or trees, they just have ornaments on them. Like to me, there's a specific design, but I never paid attention to it. So this last year I got to learn about it.
You
And it
So
was,
I
actually experienced it.
yeah,
You were
it was super
immersed
fun.
in
But
it,
you know,
watching
for the people
80
out there
branches
that
be
don't know,
decorated.
if you're decorating even like a 12-foot tree with just ornaments, is it just a diamond pattern and you just keep going all the way around, or how does that work?
I think you can ask Stacy this question, and then I think you can ask me separately because I think stylistically, everyone has a different style that they bring to the table. And like I will do things differently than Stacy, but I have some rules to live by that I will like if you don't follow them, like it's it doesn't end up looking right.
Right. So there's a difference. And this is an interesting topic, right? Because thanks, Patrick, for bringing this up, because every stylist has their own style, so to speak. I was trained in this realm of um exterior Christmas decor. So I build things so you cannot take them apart. Like the way I design is I wrap the ornaments around each branch, and I get pre-stemmed ornaments. Most of them are pre-stemmed. If they're not, I'm adding a green stem, a green landscape wire to them so I can wrap it. So you can't come and take it off, right? I prep these trees to be like go through a hurricane pretty much, right? They can withstand it. They can withstand the vandals. They can withstand the kids there. You have to have clippers to come and clip those off, unless you know the secret of going counterclockwise to take them off. Now you know the secret. But the point is, like, I decorate different than Stephanie does. Definitely. And when we worked on the trees together, Patrick, this last year, I taught you my style, which is the diamond pattern, large ornaments first, and then I diamond pattern it around the entire trees. And this is for like a 12-foot tree or 10-foot tree or smaller. And then I add in all of the specialty ornaments in their spots. But with the larger ornaments, the diamond pattern, I put in the foliage. So I try to just pack it because honestly, Patrick, with the trees we did, it was not my decor package. It was one
Right, we did the
we had to figure it out based on no photos, not even a photo. It was like, here's boxes of ornaments and foliage, put it on the tree.
And
So
sometimes that happens,
it
and you
was
gotta go with it.
it was insanity. But what I did is I grouped them. Laid out all the ornaments in the ground, and I grouped them together by size, by color, and then by feel. So it's like, here's the large ones with the spray thing with it, right? And I stuck it in the tree, diamond shaped patterns, then filled it all in, largest to smallest. That
Always
was how
go
I did it.
fundamentally, like when you're
Yeah.
decorating a Christmas tree, you always go, well, if you're doing ribbon, which a lot of times on commercial trees, you won't do ribbon. We
No.
won't do ribbon on anything above a 12-foot tree. 12 foot is the max height we will do ribbon on. Why? Because it's like, I don't want to do it. You will be there for days. It doesn't look that good on anything above a 12-foot tree. But
No thanks.
fundamentally, it's the same. So if you the first thing you do is ribbon. First thing you do is lights if you have to light the tree. Most trees are pre-lit today. Second thing you do is ribbon if you're doing ribbon. A lot of times you're not doing ribbon on a commercial tree. Then it's your larger ornaments. So fundamentally, you always start with your larger ornaments. So if you were given a decor package, the first thing you should do is break up your ornaments exactly how Stacy said. Large ornaments, medium ornaments, small ornaments, special ornaments, and then I do picks at the end to fill in
Mhm.
all the holes and the spaces and the gaps because there's always going to be spaces and gaps, especially if you have a commercial tree that you're reusing year after year.
Right. And especially if it's a project you didn't build yourself.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get a property and they're like, we have six pre-existing trees, and then we want you to do these four new trees. And a
exactly.
lot of times they won't have pictures. A lot of times it won't be packed properly. And you'll just have to kind of do your best with what existed. When we pack down, we make sure to pack everything by ornament size so that the next year when we're putting it back up or putting it together, it's much easier and much more organized. We essentially everything gets packed by ornament size, style, etc. To alleviate those issues for a future thing. And then everything gets floral wire. So we pre-cut the strings, everything gets floral wire. because you don't want these ornaments falling off. You don't want a kid grabbing them. People take things, like you just want to make sure that everything is really stuck in there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so that's
Perfect.
hot topic. Super
Yeah,
hot
I
topic.
like I said, I learned a lot about it this year, and it was wild. Wrapping all the trees. We were in such a hurry and stuff that we didn't wear gloves, so our hands were ripped up and just, you know.
Yeah, and it's
I mean,
stylistically, everyone has a different look and feel. So the way I place ornaments will be different than the way Stacy places ornaments. And I go in that order, but I don't necessarily hang things from a tree. I like you want to get into the depth of the tree, and
yeah,
just like different things that you learn along the way.
you never
Yeah,
hang things on the edge. I had to, I was, yeah, I was.
I can confidently say that the way I decorate a tree is nowhere near what any of you guys would ever do. So it's
So, so sidebar, don't ask him to decorate for you.
no,
Yeah,
it's
not he's not
probably,
your person.
yeah, it's my least
He's
favorite
saying
thing to
no.
do. So
So, so basically what I see too, Stephanie, with what you're doing is like moving the Christmas industry from just decorating spaces to like making these destination experiences. And you did that this year down in Coral Gables, Florida. That became this destination, amazing experience for not just the residents, but all the tourists that came through. Like people were stopping and just, it was such an amazing experience to watch all the photographs being taken, the professional photographers coming through, the people asking all the questions. Everyone's so excited. Just, it's such a huge thing to bring this destination experience over just putting up a Christmas tree, right? It's such a big, it's a big difference. So I mean, I think that that's so important. And there's the levels, like I was talking about earlier, like these other immersive experiences you can add in, whether it's through projection mapping or different interactive installations where I know that you're working on a project we were talking about having something where kids could actually go and climb on top of these elements rather than just being sitting there and not be able to touch them. Like those are things that as this industry expands and as we get smarter with the elements we're bringing in and the projects we're building, that we can really change um, these experiences from going to from one way to the next, and the next would
Yeah,
be the
I
elevated
always like
experience.
when I approach a project, like I'm approaching it from the customer lens, but I also approach it from a lens of like when I was a kid and I saw something and it was magical, how did that feel? And so I want to recreate that, whether it's for an adult hotel or for a kid. I want people to like walk into a space and be like, this feels like magic. Just like this feels so incredible, so magical, and just makes them smile. So like when I approach a project, like that's what like that's the main lens I'm like focused on. It's like, how do I make people smile and look at this and go, oh, that is beautiful. That was
I'd,
nice.
I'd say you definitely accomplished that with Coral Gables. A couple things that, we're talking about customization and, what kind of sets you apart as a a designer and business owner is obviously we um, worked with you on the Coral Gables job, and you know, I don't know many people who would say, "Hey, let's design a 500-pound fiberglass bow and throw them up on these archways," or even the other bows that you had, the velvet bows. Most people would just go to Vickerbin or one of their, suppliers and just order regular bows from there. But you had these really custom, unique bows, totally designed by you, brought in, and it wasn't 10, it wasn't 20, it was like 190 or so. I don't even remember how many there
Yeah.
were.
Essentially, I think
Um,
the whole thing to look at is scale. So a lot of times when you're buying commercial project from like a line or from a just from a line sheet, the scale is usually too small. And so when we approach, I like to say we have big house energy where we like to put big things in. So even if the space is small, we usually exaggerate proportions, just stylistically and as a design style. And that's because honestly, that's my mom. That's where that comes from. And it
yeah.
comes from also growing up in hotels and kind of seeing these experiences that they have created.
Yeah, I also another thing about that Coral, the job at Coral Gables was the I keep calling it the field of trees. I know there was a different name for it, but you know, after we got that installed and throughout the time that we were there, and even, during takedown, that seemed to be one of the most popular. Everyone loved the arches with the bows and the garland and the lights, but I mean that field of trees was just, it was such a magical space, design, and also it was so Instagrammable, so easy to just post on social media because it was so different.
And like you often saw kids walking through it, just like looking at all the trees because it felt
Yeah.
magical. Like you walked by it and like it was an empty lot and they were like, okay, let's do something with this lot. And I was like, let's create a magic
Magic.
forest.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Like
was awesome.
and so it's really a blessing when you have a client that like wants to create magic for their community. Like it's a really a blessing when you get to work with a client like that. So we were really fortunate in that we got to do these really incredible things for this project. Um and like I had this thought and I like need to find a client that will let me do this, but I really want to create a Christmas market somewhere. So, if anyone knows someone that wants to create a Christmas market, I have a vision.
That
Just
sounds
Okay.
amazing.
plugging
I
that.
think I have
And
people
it's
for
and it's
that.
not,
We
just so
have
you
people
know,
that want
it's
that.
not like an average vision. It's a over
Oh
the
no,
top
no, no.
amazing vision.
I saw these Christmas market huts when I was at Christmas World and I was like, "Oh, this would be really incredible." And then because like we're always talking about how do we harbor local business? How do we support local entrepreneurs?
Right.
And if you could create an environment where you curated all these local brands from the community, you could really create something special, like a local cafe, I don't know. I think it could be really amazing.
I
Yeah.
agree. So as we're talking about like the people that are watching this, a lot of them are already, like I said, in the lighting industry in some way, whether they're just doing landscape lighting or they're starting in their Christmas business or they've been in it for a while. What types of, just to give them some advice, like what types of skills or like mindset shifts do they need to start working with these types of resorts or hospitality properties? Like what would you say to them?
I think it's again, it's always thinking about the guest experience. So if you're installing on a in a resort, you always have to think about how is this going to impact the guests and like how does that impact the schedule that I'm creating. So if you and I what I always like to ask is like as I'm building a schedule, I always send it to the appropriate person for review based on traffic flow. I'll even go and sit in a hotel for like a period to observe flow of traffic to understand and make sure that we're going in at the right times. They generally want you to install overnight, but there are some places that have like other restrictions. So just always coming into the mind with like, how does this impact the guests? How does this impact the staff? Like, if there's like little things, like I always make sure that immediately when I'm done with a job, I call housekeeping to sweep to make sure that it's done, to make sure it's completely clean and spotless for the guests and the staff, because you never want to leave anything out of place. You're under the microscope when you're indoors. Just remember, I always say remember that.
Right. And you're being filmed.
Yeah, a lot of times
Definitely.
guests do love watching.
Everyone's watching. They're recording you. So be
Yeah,
Are
careful.
the are they?
yes.
Yes,
Oh,
they are.
shit.
At any point,
You
at
made
any
that.
point on the inside of a property, you're being recorded either A by security or B by a guest. So
Yes.
as someone who grew up in a hotel, you're always on your A game.
I want to
Yes.
get some of the footage of me driving that scissor lift in the Marriott JW Marriott on Marco Island because that thing barely fit out the little revolving door, and I'm not a small person, as you know. So I had to like duck down under the bar while like driving it and not run into anything. It was cool, but I need to call security at Marco Island and be like, "Hey man, can you forward me some of that? I want to put it on my TikTok or something like that."
That'd be cool. I bet you they will. They
Yeah,
probably, who knows if it's still there.
Usually a
they
lot of
probably
times
show people like
they
this
don't
this.
save they
They
don't
don't
Uh,
save,
save
yeah.
it.
I
Yeah.
know we should. Next time I go to a project like that, I'm gonna just buy the security guy a Monster Energy or something. And be like, hey, send me some video of me driving a forklift or not, or the scissor lift or something, so I can like look cool on Instagram tomorrow.
I also do like to say that everything does take a little bit longer than expected with indoors.
Oh yeah.
I find that like people generally under anticipate and It depends on how you decorate your tree. So some people decorate off property and then bring everything on property. There are people that have done that, depending on the height of the tree. I hand decorate everything on property, so none of the branches come pre-decorated, which means on property it takes a little bit longer. I think it ends up looking nicer, but we'll see.
It depends. Depends on what
Depends.
you're doing. Yeah, for
Depends on
sure.
the tree.
It does. So we're actually I'm gonna circle back now. We're speaking at TransWorld Christmas Show, and we're speaking about this particular topic. We're going to go really in depth about these particular things about decorating and guest experience and why installers need to be learning how to do this and how it's important for your business. But when one of the things that we're so passionate about at Red Sleigh Workshop is really helping the installers get these larger opportunities, right? How do they do that, right? So we're trying to bring together the commercial Christmas operators network so that they can work together on these projects, like to connect designers with installers, with the vendors, with the industry professionals, and like all the people that we have on Say the Season Live. We're all collaborators, right? We're here to collaborate together because one person can just do so much and one company can just do so much. But as a group, as a network, we can do so much more. We can help each other out, right? And like I believe in that so much that collaboration is the way to succeed. And you being both the designer and a vendor and an installer, like you have so many hats that you wear. So
Yeah.
like talk a little bit about that. Tell us a little about what that's like being on all of it, doing all of it.
I mean, I'm also an accountant, you
And
know,
social
Mm.
media person. You're
and
all of it.
social media person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't even know, like, I don't know what's left and right most days, to be perfectly frank. I do so many different things. In season, I essentially go from my warehouse to my store to installs to setting up for installs and back again to the warehouse to the store to Stacy saw it. So would not recommend this to most people, but I think doing indoor commercial install if you are already doing outdoor install is a no-brainer. There's so many wonderful people who can help you design, who can help you create product assortments, who can build that for you. And doing indoor installation is just an additional skill set that will help you grow your revenue for your existing business. The skills are transferable, and what you're doing is this generally the same. And you could kill two birds with one stone on a property.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but I would not recommend doing what I do.
So don't do
But
what
I
Stephanie
mean, if you
did.
have some
Hire
clients,
Stephanie.
yeah, if you have some clients that are looking for some really luxury designs or I mean, I remember walking into her store, and interior Christmas definitely is not my specialty and it has never really been my specialty, but I'm also late 30s, so I've seen Christmas for quite a while. And I remember walking into her store, I felt like a bull in a china shop because everything was so nice and everything was just like, I was like, man, don't touch anything, you're gonna break stuff. But it was even just regular ornaments just looked that much nicer and that much, you could tell they were better quality. And so it was really cool just to see, all this out of the norm stuff that you have designed and we're selling out of your store and online. Um,
And that
yeah,
I feel like this year we're getting really fine-tuned with the product assortments that we're creating. And then we also have a line of commercial products. We we have like kind of essentially a catalog that you can look through. We have some newer collections, Stacy, that I have to send to you of
I
things that
can't wait.
I love. But the images currently are AI because we haven't had our photo shoot, but I will share them with you.
I want
But
them.
we've really flexed our muscles this year and really pushed the boundaries on what we can create for commercial and residential installers. So, for example, we had this very strong tree in our store, and we developed a package that's like that for commercial that you can essentially put into your store. That's like an update to a traditional tree that feels just more modern and more elevated. But it's all commercial grade materials. So shatterproof plastic versus glass. There's garlands, things like that, that will just really help elevate your experience and still have it be commercial touch grade where a lot of people can touch it and pass through it. But it is just really beautiful. My site doesn't look like anything now. All of this product is either sold out or on sale.
Well, I mean, this is just looking at the bows and the ornaments themselves. It's already elevated to what you can see in a lot of other spaces, right? I mean, give me this right here, all of these. I want all of these sequence butterflies, please. But yeah, I was looking on here trying to find some. I don't think you have like a portfolio on here, do you? Like not
I
even,
do not have a
yeah,
portfolio here. I'm working on a website redesign to really put that aspect of what I do front and center.
right. Because I was looking for the particular package with the little dinosaur. That was so cute. I love that one. I want to see if I can find it. Anyway, you guys just need to come
But I
and
mean, you can see it. It's just,
there it
you
is.
know, there it is.
Oh, yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
There he is. Look at him. He's blinged out. Love him. Yes. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah. I mean, this is the little bit of different thing that you can add, you know? I just love it. So, so your site's getting a revamp. So this is where you can go to get 50% off products and select things. Here's an example of one of your trees packages.
That is actually a commercial grade tree package. So that is something that we call a box kit. So everything like that is sold in a kit, and you can essentially increase the amount of kits you purchase depending on the height of your tree. This is also a kit. So again, all of that is pre-selected for you, and you can purchase all of those pieces dependent on the height of the tree.
Can they also purchase things like these little nutcrackers and these little
Yeah, all
deer?
we do have all of that. This year we have some really incredible bells coming. We have tabletop trees. We have glass trees that light up that are coming. Just some really nice, really elevated stuff.
And so the difference between a commercial package and an interior package would be probably your glass ornaments, right? So
So
looking at
generally, I
these.
don't, depending on the property. Some properties I
Mhm.
will use glass on. I rarely use glass in commercial unless it's a very specific property, just because it's a high touch area, and you just don't want a ton of glass breaking, things like that. Um, but I also have found recently that a lot of homes with young kids also want shatterproof. So I'm starting to kind of work that into my store assortment as well.
What was the energy you said that you're bringing this year?
Big house energy.
Big house. I was saying big ball energy, but that's worse.
Oh, big house.
I'm looking at this one going, look at these big balls on here. This one, the white one. I love it. It's so great, but it's like that's oversized is like a thing, right?
Yeah, it
So
is a thing.
yes,
So it's actually a big trend. It's been a big trend for I think the last 10 years, but they just keep getting bigger.
right. So we'll keep
So
bringing
I'm a
it.
trend right now.
You're a trend.
Perfect.
Big
You
Patrick
are
energy.
So, what day are you going to be speaking at TransWorld? What is your class again? I forgot. I
26.
The 26th. Okay, yeah. So Cece's going to show you how to get there.
Right here under Thursday seminars. Right here. She's kicking off Thursday at TransWorld Christmas Show. Thursday,
Yes.
10:15 a.m. Luxury Christmas experiences, designing for resorts and destinations. So we're going to be up there talking about it. It's going to be
I'm
amazing.
excited. I've never been to St. Louis.
Well, you're going to love it.
It's an experience.
So amazing.
No, it's and then just the whole show. You haven't been to well, if you haven't been to St. Louis, then you haven't been to TransWorld. So,
No.
Uh,
um,
my
it's
first year
just
at TransWorld.
yeah, it's just wild to walk in there and you got all the Christmas stuff and it's just mind-boggling and then you got the whole Halloween side of it, which is a whole nother part. So obviously we're focusing on Christmas, but it's still cool to go over there and just see all the new technology that's coming out on the Halloween side as well. So But yeah, if you want to go to this class after you register and get your ticket, you can go in and buy just this class for $55 before March 19th, or if it's after that, it's $65. Um, and then we we go to our 1 day training.
Yes, installer intensive training program is happening Wednesday, the 25th of March. So we have two options for this. You can get your ticket if you already have your TransWorld ticket. You can join our class for $300, which is a steal because it includes the full day of training, bidding, how to learn how to bid projects, huge projects, how to deal with commercial projects and contracts, um, worksheets about how to implement the projects, also a vendor cheat sheet, which is my favorite part. And we're going to have some prizes and drawings and stuff going on too. So you can order your ticket right here at this link that's on this site. The second option is the commercial Christmas workshop and a ticket to the TransWorld show and a ticket to the Light series, which is a whole separate 12 class 12 classes designed specifically for your commercial, residential and commercial education track, right? So if you're looking to move forward and expand your Christmas, either even in residential or to commercial, both all these classes are hand curated by us to help you move forward. And so you can also get that ticket to all those things for $625. Both of if you go to the Light series, you also get to come to our Flamingo Bowl event, which is Thursday night, which will be really fun.
Yeah, and I mean the wild thing is if you were to buy all 12 of just the Light Series classes, it would be over $625. So the
Right.
fact that you get all 12 classes, your ticket to the Transworld trade show, and our commercial Christmas 1 day um um blah, 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 class, sorry, I had a little brain fart there. For only $625. I mean, it's such a steal. So if you haven't bought it, I know there's some seats left. We just talked to Jen and Rich today, so
Mm-hmm.
um, come on here,
We have
register,
some openings.
and you get all of that for just $625. And you don't even have to take all 12 classes. If you only want to take 8 of them, I know that at TransWorld I'm doing 3 or 4. I'm not teaching classes. They wouldn't pay me enough, so I had to respectfully decline. Um, but there's about 4 or 5 classes that I'm going to because hey, we're going to be there, so why not elevate myself and Red Sleigh Workshop while we're there? So um, yeah.
So there's that. So
Boom.
again, thank you, Stephanie, for coming on with us to talk about all this. For people who are looking to get a hold of Stephanie, you can get a hold of her at her website right here. Um, I'm sure there's a way to get a hold of her here on also on the socials, right? Here's her Facebook. She's got the TikTok.
See if it works.
It's coming. There you are.
Boom.
Easiest,
Boom.
the easiest way to
Yes.
get in touch with me is either Instagram or email. My email
Instagram.
is stephanie.dardenne@holidayjoybuy.com.
Okay.
There is also a work with Stephanie form. There's also,
Ooh.
Ooh.
yeah, it's like a
Sorry,
Google.
my
See if you
brain
can
was just like
qualify.
it just no, it just sounds so like work with Stephanie. Like I was like, I didn't have to fill that out.
We're gonna send you one, Patrick.
Damn it.
No, that's mostly for residential because on top of everything else, I also do residential projects.
Only.
You know, I only takes like this year I only took 6 clients because of capacity, but
Right.
you
You had a
know,
couple you had a couple other things going on this year.
A few.
next year I'm hoping to do more residential as well.
Yeah, so definitely get a hold of her if you want to work with her. There's all kinds of ways too on Instagram. Message her, email her. She gave you her email address. And if you're looking to expand your business into larger commercial projects, Red Sleigh Workshop, we have several upcoming training events designed to help you step into the next level of this amazing commercial Christmas industry. We have coming up, I'm going to go to our redslayworkshop.com. You can come here and you can click the contact us form if you want to talk to us directly or get some information. You can just fill this out, say what you want to talk about. We'll get a hold of you right away. You can also get $50 off your consultation if you want to do a 2-hour consultation with me. That's here, a little coupon that pops up. And then you can also just pay for your consultation here if you just want to get on there and get a hold of me. That's how I like to start out my relationships with the installers, is through the 2-hour consultation, because we really dig into your business and see where the gaps are. I really see where we can push you forward, or just help you move up slowly into where you want to be in the commercial space. But I like to kind of push you really fast into it because it's happening right now. We're bidding projects now, so you got to kind of start if you're looking to start. We're also going to be
I have to submit another bid this week.
right. I mean, it's here.
Time.
Wait, there's one due too? I can't remember. I got to talk to, anyway, we got to talk about that, Patrick. So we have some
Yay.
upcoming trainings. So you can also go to our site where I just showed you the homepage and click there where it says training. And in 13 days, we're going to be at this 1-day training at St. Louis. You can get the tickets here. We're going to have a May 7th through 8th 2-day training in San Antonio, Texas. And that one you can purchase right here. You can reserve your seats. You can reserve your partner passes. You can get the executive package. They're all available. What's included with our 2-day training is hotels, food, social event. You get trained with us, and we have special guests coming to talk about amazing products that you have never seen before in the industry that you're going to be able to see with us and get access to. That's happening May 7th and 8th. We do have spots open for that one. We have a 1-day in-person training coming up in Bozeman, Montana. You want to talk about that one, Patrick?
Yeah, the great folks over at Action Lighting called us up and told us, hey, Bozeman, Montana is blowing up, and we've got a lot of people wanting to do commercial installations, but they're not really sure how to do it. So we want you guys to come out here and train them up. So we get to go to Bozeman on June 13th. Neither of us have been there. I'm really excited for it. To go to a
It
new
is. It's a
place.
hot spot now.
Apparently,
That's
yeah, they
what
were
they
they were
say.
telling us all about it. So we're gonna go there. So we have a 1-day training on June 13th. Then we have another 2-day training here in the San Antonio, June 18th and 19th. So it's another 2-day. You can book it down below. And then with Certified Lights, we have a training on September 5th. They have a 2-day installer training, the 3rd and the 4th. And then so this is an add-on, or you can just go to this event. So here's their Christmas light training. It's 2-day. It's one of the best, if not the best, training to learn how to get into the Christmas light installation business. And then on Saturday, the 5th, unfortunately, I won't be there. I have some prior engagements, so I will be gone. But I know that there's going to be a couple people who won't schedule it now because I'm not going to be there, but Stacy will still be there. So whatever
Yes.
whatever you were looking to get out of my part of the training, I'll make sure she flips her hat backwards or something and does all
Uh,
my
your
spiel
hat's
as
forward
well.
right now.
I know it's because my hair is gray, so I don't want to show all my gray hair. But
Well,
quick
hopefully we can
question.
have some special guests on that
Well, and I
trip
have I
in
have two questions for Stephanie.
Dallas.
So,
Uh-oh.
um, A, how's Johnny?
He-
That was okay, sorry.
I'm seeing him. Oh, maybe tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, well, tell him we said hi. Um,
Hi,
and
Johnny, if you're
then
watching.
B, um, how was your experience working with us this
It was
season?
wonderful. I
Yeah.
feel very fortunate and very blessed to have been introduced to you guys through the long relationship you have had with my family. I feel very, very, very fortunate to have gotten to work with you. And I think that anyone who gets to work with you will really be able to level up their experience.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was definitely a pleasure for us, for me in general. Um, A, having never been to Coral
There is
Gables.
no one as committed as Stacy and Patrick.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, honestly, it was just so much fun. And like I said, all your designs were just so amazing and awesome. And yeah, it was, a lot of late nights. I still have the photo from that morning when we'd been up all night, and I've just got this I hate everybody look on my face. So, but no, it was such a fun experience, and it wasn't just the install. It was also getting to see how you work and how you design, and it was awesome. So I really enjoyed
I
it,
think
and
something that Stacey and Patrick know about me is that I'm like always there. I'm not one of those people who like designs a project and then like is uncommitted to the result. So if you do decide to work with me or you do decide to if you need a package or anything like that, like I'm committed to helping you get your goals across the finish line. Like I was there with Stacey like what till 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And Stacey was
Yeah.
like, "What? You have to." I essentially went from one job, then went slept 3 hours and went to another job the next morning.
Yeah.
That was
I mean, it's only a couple weeks out of the year.
I know,
So
but I also
we
have
get
toddlers.
through it. Get through it. We get through it.
We survived.
So I think it was a wonderful experience working with you as well, Stephanie. And that's why I'm really excited to have you on and really excited to go to TransWorld and speak with you in front of the group of people and really help them elevate their product lines by using your designs and helping everyone grow and everyone collaborate to make this a wonderful experience across the board and everyone make a lot of money and all the resorts look amazing. Like that's what we want to do. And because the Christmas industry is really entering like an exciting new chapter of like creativity, design, like innovation and technology is like growing so fast that we want to make sure that we're able to create those experiences and make them bigger and better than ever. And we can do
Yeah,
that together.
we
Mhm.
have to meet the customers where they are. So we're
Right.
living in such a digital age, and there's so much ex like everything's about experience. And we are so
Yeah.
overstimulated today that we have to find a way to take people off their phones and put them in a moment. And so
Right.
we have to figure out how to meet the customer where she is in her journey, or where he is, or where the family is in their journey. And by creating an elevated product, we're able to do that.
Yes. I
Pat,
appreciate.
they got
Thank,
a little taste of it.
yeah. So thank you so much again, Stephanie, for coming on. Thank you, Patrick, for participating
All right.
tonight. And thank you, our Facebook folks on there. Oh, there's Lily. Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Lily. Now she is the salesperson right there. She's the one that's on board. All right. Hey, Lily, what do you want to say to all your fans on Facebook?
say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
What's your favorite Christmas color?
is
Is it red?
it
Oh,
is like purple.
all right, go.
Purple.
All right,
And
go.
new.
Yeah, all right.
And what'd she say? Snails? Purple snails?
Yeah.
Do you have pet snails?
So she found a snail on her tomato plant today, and so she was
Oh,
like, "I want to keep it as a pet," and we're like, "No," and then we're gonna release it tomorrow. So we told her she gets it for 24 hours.
where is it?
In the purple cage.
Yeah, it's like
Where's your snail now, though?
it's in this little
That
pet
is
thing.
that's a forever pet.
I,
A snail?
yeah.
I asked her if we could eat it, and she was like, "No." So,
Oh,
Childhood trauma. That's what we
100%.
talked
don't
about in
eat
like
the
20
snail,
years.
Dad.
So, well, I think that's my cue. I got to get going because they're getting
Yeah.
antsy without
Bedtime.
yeah. So, Stephanie, it's been great. Good to see you. Great chatting.
You.
And look forward to seeing you at TransWorld in a couple weeks. And yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
guys.